Hello everyone! Rumors about Pastor Creflo Dollar's health have left his congregation and the wider Christian community in shock, with speculation swirling that he is in serious condition, and while details have been scarce, the weight of concern has been heavy enough that his wife, Taffi Dollar, finally decided to speak out, not only addressing the rumors but also revealing a side of their family life and faith walk that the public rarely sees, making this moment both heartbreaking and deeply revealing for those who have followed the Dollars for decades. Creflo Dollar, the Atlanta-based megachurch pastor, author, and televangelist whose ministry has reached millions through World Changers Church International and broadcasts worldwide, has lived much of his life in the public eye, praised by followers for his emphasis on prosperity, faith, and grace, while also being criticized by others for his lavish lifestyle and bold teachings on God's blessings. But health rumors have shifted the conversation away from debates about theology and finances to something much more human: the fragility of life, even for those we see as strong spiritual leaders. For weeks, whispers circulated online and across social media suggesting that Pastor Dollar was battling a life-threatening illness, with some even claiming he had collapsed or was quietly hospitalized. And while the church remained largely silent, that silence only fueled speculation further, leaving members anxious and desperate for clarity. Finally, his wife Taffi, who has always been a pillar of strength both in ministry and at home, came forward with a heartfelt message, confirming that while Creflo has indeed faced health challenges, the rumors had taken on a life of their own and painted a picture far more dramatic than the truth. Yet she did not shy away from admitting that the last several months have tested their faith in ways they never expected. She described long nights of prayer, moments of fear that shook her spirit, and an overwhelming gratitude for the outpouring of love and support from people around the world, but she also made it clear that the family is standing firm on God's promises of healing and restoration, leaning on Scripture and their decades of ministry experience to remind themselves that trials do not mean defeat. This candid statement has struck a chord with many, as Taffi's honesty revealed the vulnerability of a couple so often placed on a pedestal, reminding everyone that even pastors and spiritual leaders endure seasons of pain and uncertainty, and it has opened up conversations about the pressures leaders face to appear unshakable when in reality they carry heavy burdens in private. Inside the church, members have begun rallying more than ever, with special prayer meetings, vigils, and services dedicated to lifting up their pastor, creating a sense of unity that some say hasn't been felt in years, as people who once took his presence for granted are now realizing how much his leadership has meant to their spiritual journeys. Meanwhile, critics of the prosperity gospel movement have also seized on this moment, pointing out what they see as contradictions between messages of guaranteed health and wealth and the real-life struggles that even prosperity preachers cannot escape. But supporters counter that this trial simply proves the universality of human suffering and the importance of faith in overcoming it. For Creflo himself, though he has not spoken publicly as much as before, those closest to him say he remains strong in spirit, spending more time in reflection, prayer, and quiet moments with family, and that he sees this as not only a challenge but also an opportunity to teach his followers that grace is not about avoiding hardship, but about enduring hardship with confidence in God's goodness. His wife's words have calmed some of the panic, but have also left people wondering just how serious his condition truly is, as she carefully avoided sharing specific medical details, perhaps to protect his privacy, or perhaps because the journey is still unfolding. Regardless, the very fact that Taffi broke her silence is significant because it acknowledges that the rumors could no longer be ignored and that transparency, even limited, was needed to reassure the faithful. For decades, Creflo Dollar has preached about abundance, breakthrough, and victory, and now he finds himself in a season where those very words are being tested in the most personal way, with his wife by his side as both caretaker and encourager. Whether this chapter in their lives becomes one of miraculous recovery or one of ongoing struggle, it has already reminded the world of an uncomfortable truth. No amount of fame, wealth, or spiritual authority can shield someone from the realities of sickness. In Taffi's and message, fragility. there was not defeat, but determination, not despair, but hope, as she urged the faithful not to give in to fear or gossip, but to stand with them in prayer and unity. This moment is more than a story about Creflo Dollar's health. It's a story about the humanity of leaders, the strength of family, and the power of faith in uncertain times. And as people wait for updates and hope for recovery, they are being invited into a rare glimpse of vulnerability from one of the world's most well-known pastors, a reminder that even those who preach faith every week must themselves live it out when storms come. Thanks for watching.